I just realized something. Think about how similar this little family of goats are to a typical classroom at school. You have, of course, your class tough guy. You have the tough guy. I'm not trying to be mean here, but you always have that little ditzy girl or boy, just kind of a ditz. Oh, here comes the tough guy. There's that little ditzy right there, doing that bangs her head on the wall. Oh my goodness, baby, I love you though. Okay, I love you. You always have your little smarty pants, the one that kind of outdresses the rest of the kids, kind of preppy, just kind of the preppy kid. Yeah, we call them the preppy kids. Oh, here comes that lanky kid, that tall, lanky kid that is abnormally lanky, tall and lanky for their age. Feels a little awkward. Don't forget, there's always that one kid that can give you the most go to hell look. No, they have a constant RBF face. It could be a boy or a girl, and they can look at you, man, the way they look at you. And of course, in every classroom, you got your Mean Girls Club. There's always a Mean Girls Club. There's that one kid that you think might have eaten a few too many paint chips. Yeah, we got that kid. Guys, you always have a kid with a snaggletooth, especially elementary. There's always some elementary kid with a snaggletooth. Maybe they were missing a couple of teeth from, yeah, there's always those snaggletooth. There's that one kid that always has to go to the bathroom. And when they go to the bathroom, they don't come out for a while. I'm serious about this. There's that one kid that's always having to go to the bathroom. Aw, and then you have your special need kiddos you got to take care of and give them a little help here and there. You love them just as much. They have a little bit harder time getting around. Oh, and you have your messy Marvin. Guys, there's always a messy Marvin in every classroom. They keep their desk area a wreck. They can go to lunch and come back with their face and hands and shirt just plain filthy. Yeah, they can drop their pencil shavings all over the floor. I mean, even the work they turn in is just, even their papers are sloppy and papers are wrinkled up. The staples not in the corner. Folks, it has begun. It has begun. I want you to notice what's going on here with little Pebbles. She got her new bell yesterday, and right now she is the envy of every little female over there. Oh my gosh, Shirley, who should have her very own bell, at least according to her thoughts, has claimed the hill, and they will not let Pebble on the hill. Laverne, who is Shirley's daughter, right there behind her, has decided to help and support Mom in her jealous rage, and they're not going to let Pebbles on the hill, all because she has a cute little bell and a collar, and Pebbles doesn't know what to make of it. She doesn't know why they're all picking on her. Isn't that the way it is in life? You know, you see sometimes a kid comes to school with a new pair of shoes, or sometimes even the young ladies will get their nails done. Oh, poor Pebbles. Have we done a bad thing, y'all, by putting that bell on her? Have we made her life more difficult? Even though it makes her feel special, have we made her life more difficult? I'm going to give you a great example, and I wish I had pictures of this, but I don't. But when I was playing high school football, my dad was also a teacher at the school. And so he was able to have access to things that other kids didn't have access to. An example is they always bought the varsity kids special cleats. Yeah, they did. They always bought the varsity high school athletes special cleats. The school would buy them for them. It was something the school provided. Yet the other teams, the freshman teams, the middle school teams, the junior varsity, they had to supply their own cleats. So one year I remember I was playing freshman football, 9th grade football, and my dad got me a pair of the varsity cleats. One of the coaches said, "Here, it's for your kid." And so, man, I felt like a big shot. I put on those varsity cleats as only a JV player. Let me get out of the truck. I put on those varsity cleats. Hey, Trudy. I put on those varsity cleats, and they were our school colors. They weren't your typical white cleat that you can buy at Academy or Walmart or anywhere else. These were a very nice, I think it was Rydell was the name brand on them, but they were our school colors, and man, I felt like $1 million. I felt special until I got to practice. And if lo and behold, every other player didn't treat me different, I felt like Pebbles. I felt like Pebbles when I was at Pebbles. It's me, baby. I felt like Pebbles with her little bell until I got to football practice, and the other players, in their own bit of jealousy, began to take it out on me. So Jake put that collar on her, and I'm just now seeing up close that it's not tight enough. It doesn't need to dangle like that. It needs to be a little bit tighter. That could actually, believe it or not, being too loose can actually be more painful. It could actually, move around and rub blisters. So I'll take care of that when I get to the pasture a little bit later. But yeah, I wonder now if, even though Pebbles feels super special, if she's being treated differently now. Well, hold on a minute. Maybe it's not the bell. Maybe it's Shirley just being Shirley. Shirley and Laverne. Look, it is a game they're playing. Guys, my whole life has been a lie just now. My whole life has been a lie. It's not at all about the bell. It's about Shirley just wanting to be king of the hill. How funny is that? Laverne and Shirley, and look, now they're going to even push some of the male goats off. Lenny, nope, you're out. Look, Laverne has taken care of Lenny, and Shirley is over there getting rid of Brady. However, Brady's not going to move. That big galoot's too dumb to know what's going on here. He's just a big galoot. He's a big doofus of a goat. I love him, but he's a big doofus. He's like Moo, our cow, who's also a big doofus. Oh no. Shirley's not the games that goats play. Guys, don't you realize why we call our children kids? Because they're like a bunch of little kid goats. That's why we call our children kids. Y'all know that, right? Because seeing your children play around reminds you of watching goats play around. I'm not making that up, y'all. I am not making that up. Okay, maybe I did make it up, but I think there's some truth to it. I would like someone to look it up and tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't feel like I'm wrong. All right, so there's Ernie, who is our, oh, there goes my sweet girl. She's like, you know what? I've got some energy. Now I'm ready to go back and claim that hill for me and my bell. You can ring my bell, ring my bell, ring my bell. Oh, I love that song, and I love that pretty girl. Why is it that some of these babies have a special place in our hearts? Listen to me, y'all. I'm going to say this. I love them all. You do. You love every one of them, and there's not a one of them out here that I wouldn't give my life to protect. And as cute and as funny and as playful and as much joy as they bring you, why do I have a special place in my heart for Shirley? Why do I have a place in my heart for Pebbles? And what in the world is it that makes me love Sissy so darn much? Why? And I'm sitting here looking around at all the other goats, and it's cute and it's playful and it's funny, as they are. I mean, you got Mr. Hunt. Don't think it's because of some kind of popularity thing. Huck has been in a couple of very popular videos, if you want to call them viral videos, of course. So yeah, you love him for his cute factor and his story. But I just think that there's something about some of these babies that make them a little bit more special to you. You connect to them in some kind of a weird way. I can't explain it. And so, you know, this kind of ties into this kind of ties in directly to family relations. Oh boy, Lester, here you go. You can't keep it simple. You have to complicate things. I'm not trying to complicate things. But don't you think as parents, as grandparents, as uncles, we have kind of our favorites? Oh, you could never say it to your children. You could never come out and say this. There's no way you could ever come out and just say this, because there are some things you just don't talk about. But guys, we're not stupid. Don't you understand that people realize if you are or if you're not a favorite? Don't you think in a classroom, everyone can pick out who are the teacher's pets? Like immediately. It's not hard to figure out who are the teacher's pets. Now that teacher can never say, okay, y'all, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I like Jonathan more than I like the rest of you. No, never. A teacher could never say that. I'm not laughing at Jonathan or that teacher. I'm laughing at these goats. And so listen, so I come from a family of 4 as far as children. Mom and Dad, you all know Gigi and Pawpaw. And then there's Kim, me, Tina, and Dan. And all of us 4 kids get along great. Us 4 kids never have, I mean, of course, when we were kids, we would argue and do things that kids do. But now that we're all adults and we've all made a life for ourselves, none of us kids argue about anything, ever, ever. So there's no bitterness when I say that it was very obvious that Sister Kim, and we call him Uncle Dan, but that's my little brother, we're always Mom and Dad's favorites. Me and Tina are not mad. We're not bitter about it. But don't think we don't know it. Don't think we don't know it. And so, if you could say, yeah, Lester, but how do you know? Guys, don't even get me started, because I don't want to turn you. I'm not trying to sway you onto my side. I don't care. Maybe you were a favorite of your, well, listen to this. So let's just say that, okay, so it's not all feel sorry for Lester, because guess what? I was one of my nanny's favorites. That's my dad's mom. Nanny made it very obvious that she had favorites as far as her grandkids, and guess what? Lester was one of them. Me and Nanny, y'all, we did things together. We planted, I know, I don't get credit for this. I don't get enough credit for this, but if you see every tree around here, every row of tree, I planted those right beside my nanny. Yes, I did. Talk about master planning a beautiful piece of property. My nanny had a vision for what she wanted this place to look like. This, guys, let me tell you something. This used to be all fields. Look at the size of trees here, my friends. Look at the size of trees. Now, okay, there's exceptions here and there, but can you not tell that all of these trees are the same age? Do you want to know why? Because me and Nanny planted them about 25 years ago. 30 years ago. It was a long time ago that me and Nanny walked across this hill planting trees every chance we got. And then you just don't plant a tree here in sandy soil. You got to come by and water those trees. So I'll tell you something. And this is something kind of funny, but it's not. A lot of people, when they talk about Hurricane Harvey and flooding, and then we had Tropical Storm Imelda and flooding, and man, don't think that I haven't considered the possibilities of this place is just not safe to raise a family and to raise all these animals. Because ever since the new development, our home, our property has become susceptible. I know I'm saying that wrong, to flooding. But there are so many memories tied to this place. There are so many. It's not just blood, sweat, and tears. It's something a whole lot more than that, y'all. And so you just can't sell. You just don't sell and move away. And I'm not even talking about the history of the Morrow land. I'm just talking about my own history of walking these, open fields. Then my dad says it. These used to be cornfields. Cornfields. Look at it now. This is not cornfield here. These used to be cornfields when my dad was a kid. When I was a kid, we used to play in the cornfields. And look at them now. These trees. Darn near every one of them. That pine tree there has obviously been here for a long time. That's a lot older than I am. And then these pine trees over here on this side are older than I am. But all of these and all of those around that cemetery and that lane, my entire yard. I wish I had pictures. Don't you wish that you people kept pictures? Now, of course, every picture we had that was a hard copy, we lost it in Hurricane Harvey flooding. So we have nothing like that to go back to and look at to remember the old days. And of course, there weren't video cameras around then. We didn't have cell phones, and there was nowhere to upload stuff to Facebook or YouTube, to, Instagram. You didn't have all that mess. So those days only exist, the memories of those only exist in my mind. But the younger generations, like the LE and the Lex, they have no idea. This is the way that they know the land to look. So they won't have the same attachment to it as what I do, as to what my dad does. Another reason why the Morrow men have always passed down land to their fathers, fathers have always passed land down to their sons. I'll give you a great example. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean. Guys, you're going to call me out on this. I'm glad I'm going to say this at the end of the video, because 95% of the people that watch the page will never make it this far anyway. But there's a reason why men in the Morrow family do not pass land down to their daughters. Oh, they give them a piece of inheritance. They give them whatever they can to give them as far as something of monetary value, different heirlooms. But women, I'm going to say this. Boy, I feel like I shouldn't say this because you're going to take great offense to it. But I think if you can be real with yourself for a minute, you would agree with what I'm saying, that most women, can I just say most? I'll even say some, just to make you not quite so angry at me. Some women, when they get married, they choose to take on the life of their husband instead of the other way around. That makes no sense to you, does it? So let me put it into practical terms. When a Morrow woman has gotten married, she has chosen 9 times out of 10 to move off and seek her fortune with her husband, which leaves Morrow land empty, And so what has happened, here's a great example. My sister Tina. Everyone loves Tina, but Tina has moved away. Tina had this property right over here deeded to her. It's been deeded. Yes, when Tina got married and Rob and Tina were married, Tina got this little piece of deeded property right here. Yet Tina and Rob have moved away since. Now, we're very blessed that Tina has given the land back to my dad. She didn't up and sell it. But you know what? She could have. And so, there was from all of the original Morrow land, we don't have all of that land still in the family. And you want to know why? It was because some had been given away to women who ended up moving away with their husbands, and their husbands, who do not have an attachment to the land, have up and sold it, and the women have just gone along with their husbands. Whereas I can't think of one Morrow man who's up and sold his property, because when you live somewhere and you grow up on that property, and you bleed, you sweat, and you tear, you cry over it for whatever reasons, it becomes a part of you, and you don't just up and sell it. And so, where did all this come from? Where did all of this come from? I stopped to watch the goats play. Do you know that there might be like psychology majors would break down my conversations at some kind of Freudian breakdown and say, Lester, there must have been something on your mind, or else you would not have ever shared those thoughts. I don't know if that's true or not. But what I've noticed is that I have this little bit of a rambling problem, where once I start talking, it's sometimes hard to stop. And so I might start talking about Shirley Bird, how much I love her, and Pebbles and Sissy. Oh, don't forget about my sweet pig, Trudy. Trudy, you're my favorite pig, baby. I don't mind if the world knows it. You're my special girl, Piggy. I love you so much. And guys, that's the same way that our moms and our dads and our grandparents feel. They had specials, they had favorites. And they love, don't worry, we love you all. They love us all. But they can't help but have a few favorites here and there, and for different reasons. I honestly can't name why. I wish I knew why. Would it change who I am? Hell no. Sorry, but there ain't no way I'm going to change who I am just so I can be someone's favorite. How fake would that be? I love these goats. Love watching them play. I love that Annie and Ernie are here with them, kind of watching over them as they do their typical goat behavior. And isn't it funny how they've chosen to make that hill a game that even kids play, King of the Hill. Whoever has the high ground. Yeah, somebody said, why don't y'all build your goats a playground? I saw a playground at this other farm, blah, blah, blah. Guys, we have a playground. We have round rolls of hay. We have little hills like that one right there. We have tree stumps. We have so many things that our goats play on. We don't need to come out and build a playground. If you remember, they used to have the canoe they would jump in until they begin to poop in it. And I had to clean that mess out, and that was into that game. Remember the hanging canoe? Some of y'all remember that when I used to hang the canoe and they let them jump in the canoe. It would swing them back and forth. That was fun. Yeah, these goats have plenty of places to play. They don't need a special, expensive playground. All right, I really have. I've rambled on for 20 minutes, and now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm embarrassed of what I may have said over this 20 minutes. And I do not feel like going back and having to edit a 20-minute video. There's our pig Trudy, and there's the great Carl. Hey, Carl! Y'all have a fun day. And hey, if you're not your parents' favorite, they still love you. They probably don't say it as much. And that kind of hurts. You got that one kid who